Hello children, good morning. Today I am with my second part of your first chapter. You are in class 8 and you are not ending with your just sentences, right? In this chapter you have learned about sentences and its types, and further you are going to learn about clauses as well. And I know you have learned this chapter about clauses also in your 7th class. So just we will have a recap. Okay. In the first the prior video, that is in the first part of your grammar, we have learned about the sentences and types. And hope you have tried the exercises as well. Now we will do with the clause part. We will learn about clauses and phrases as well. We will just have a just recap of these two topics, that is clause and phrase. First of all, we will discuss about clauses. What is clause? Clause is a part of sentences which is having subject verb combination, which is having a meaning in it. And so this is called clause. For example, you may sit here. Right? It is having subject you and sit. It's a verb and it is making a sense also. Right? So and this may be clause may be a part of sentence or may be a simple sentence too. Right? So there are two types in the clauses. One is dependent clause and the other is independent. The first one, independent clause, which is also called principal clause. In this principal clause, the clause in itself exists and does not require any other part of the sentence or the other clause to its existence. Okay? And it is satisfies subject verb combination also, and it has complete meaning also. For example, the chief minister is in the auditorium. Okay, the chief minister is the subject and he is in the auditorium. It's a verb, right? So this is completely making a sense. It does not require any other clause to make it existent, right? Is it not making any sense? You sit here. Take your book. So it is making complete sense, right? Whereas the second part, that is the subordinate clause or the dependent clause. This clause depends on the other part of the sentence or other main clause or the independent clause. This is also having subject verb combination. It will make sense but not complete. Right? And but it does not, it depends on the other clause. This is called subordinate clause. For example, when the chief minister comes into the auditorium. When the chief minister comes into the auditorium. This is a part of sentence. Is it complete? When the chief minister comes, what should we do? There is something, right? It is depending on other part of the sentence. It is depending on other clause. Now this complete sentence is, when the chief minister comes into the auditorium, please switch off your phones. Switch off your phones. This is complete, right? Switch off is a verb. Your is a verb, is a subject. So it is satisfying both the things and it is making sense also. Switch off your phones, right? It is complete in itself, but when the chief minister comes to the auditorium, it is incomplete. It is making sense, but it is incomplete. I hope now you have understood, right? So, subordinate clause, that is dependent clause, requires other main clause or the independent clause to for its existence. Okay, to become complete. Okay, and there are three types of this dependent clause. One is noun clause, one is adjective clause, and the third one is adverb clause. Okay, so we will just recap with an example and also a video. Let's get started with that. See children, in this example, I heard the loud noise. I heard the loud noise. See, this part of the sentence. I heard the loud noise and I shrieked. This is a sentence. Part of the sentence, that is, I heard the loud noise, is a part of the sentence, right? It is having I subject and heard verb also. So it is complete. It is satisfying that first rule, subject verb combination. And next is I shrieked. I shrieked. I is subject, shrieked is verb. So it is also satisfying complete, and it is making a sense also. It's making the satisfying the clause first rule, that is subject verb combination. Second thing, they are making sense also. They are complete in itself. I heard the loud noise. It is complete, right? There is a complete meaning in that. So this sentence, this clause is an example of principal or independent clause. Then the same one is changed with a slight change in the second part. When I heard the loud noise, is it complete? No, it's not complete. I shrieked. Now it is complete? Yes. So this underlined part of the line, that is clause, is subordinate clause. It is not, it is having I, subject, and heard, verb. So it is satisfying both. Uh, both. One is subject and also verb combination, but not complete sense. Hmm? But it is depending on the main clause, that is I shrieked, right? So this is subordinate clause. The other one, as I discussed earlier, the chief minister came to the auditorium, right? It is complete. Switch off your cell phone, that is also complete, right? This is making, these sentences is making sense in itself. Whereas when the chief minister comes to the auditorium, so it is incomplete. It is depending on the other part of the sentence, that is switch off your cell phones, on the main clause. This is called subordinate. This is example of subordinate clause.
A group of related words. It has a subject and verb combination, and it has a complete meaning by itself. You can consider a simple sentence as a clause. For example, he plays cricket regularly. Now, is this a clause? For that, we will check whether it is satisfying all the three conditions that we just discussed. Is it a group of words? Yes, it is. Here, he is the subject, plays is the verb, so it has a subject-verb combination. And the whole sentence, he plays cricket regularly, makes complete meaning by itself. Hence, we can say it is a clause. Now, clauses are mainly divided into two parts based on their usage. It may be independent clause or dependent clause. An independent clause is actually a complete sentence by itself. It doesn't need any other clause for its existence. For example, you may sit. Here, you is the subject and sit is the verb, and the whole sentence is giving a complete thought by itself. So, it's an independent clause. Then what is a dependent clause? It has a subject and a verb, but it doesn't have a complete thought by itself and is dependent on independent or main clause for a complete thought. For example, wherever you lie. Here, you is the subject and like is the verb, and the whole sentence is having a meaning as well, but it's incomplete. Now, let's add a main clause to this clause. You may sit, and now the whole sentence becomes you may sit wherever you like. Now, here the entire thought is complete with one main or independent clause and one dependent clause. This is all about dependent clause. Now, dependent clause are mainly divided into three types: noun clause, adjective clause, and adverb clause.
Okay, children. So this was about clauses. Okay, coming to the phrases now. You have already learned about phrases also. So you might be getting confused. I'll just recall everything once. Phrase is also a part of sentence. It is also a combination of words, but there is no subject verb combination. There is no subject verb combination, and it doesn't have meaning in itself. It requires other part of the sentence to get its uniqueness. Okay, so a phrase is incomplete, but that can be used with other words or other part of the sentence to make a unique sense. So phrases is completely different from clauses. Clauses are having subject verb combination. They are having meaning. But phrase is not having subject verb combination. They are not having complete meaning also. So let's just recap. I'm saying you this because here also in this further exercises there are few questions based on phrases also. Okay. So just recap that with the video I'm going to show you now. Before that, even in phrases also you have different types based on the parts of speech like noun phrase, verb phrase, adjective phrase, adverb phrase and prepositional phrase. And we will learn more in depth about this in the second chapter on nouns. Okay, let's now just get a recap about phrases in the video, upcoming video.
It's a group of words. It is having no subject verb combination, doesn't have meaning if used alone, but if used in a sentence has a unique meaning. Let's understand these qualities with an example. A beautiful home. Now, is it a group of words? Yes, it is. This group of words having subject and verb? No. So no subject verb combination is there. Is it making any sense while using alone? To a group of words, a beautiful home, we are able to understand that we are talking about home. But is it conveying any meaning or thought? No. So it has no meaning if used alone. Let me use this group of words in a sentence. I built a beautiful home. Is this group of words now conveying any meaning? Yes, it is. So a beautiful home satisfies all four conditions and hence it is a phrase. Now I think the types of phrases. There are 5 different kind of phrases. Each of them is from the 5 parts of speech that we have already discussed in our parts of speech series. These phrases are: first, noun phrase; second, verb phrase; third, adjective phrase; fourth, adverb phrase; and fifth, prepositional phrase.